Good evening, everyone. I call the meeting to order at 5:32 p.m. Let's do a roll call to see who's here. This is Brian, and I am present.
This is Rainey, and I'm present.
Hey, are you there?
Oh, sorry. This is Hay and I'm present.
Thank you very much. We have a quorum. Item number 3 on the agenda, Governing Council Administrative Discussion and Action Items. 3.1, a recommendation to approve the agenda for the December 15th, 2025 regular meeting. And I'm happy to entertain a motion when you are ready.
This is Rainey, and I make a recommendation to approve the agenda for December 15th, 2025 regular meeting.
This is Hay and I second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 3.2, a recommendation to approve the minutes from the November 17th, 2025 regular meeting.
And this is Rainey, and I make a recommendation to approve the minutes from the November 2025 regular meeting.
This is Hay and I second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
And this is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay and I approve.
The motion passes. Item number 4, public comment. Do we have anybody online this evening to provide public comment? It does not look like it. Okay. Item number 5, stakeholder reports and action items. 5.1, the director's report. Lori.
Thank you, Brian. So today is December 15th. That means we are in the last week of school of the first semester. For our middle school students, that may look like some finals, or finishing up final projects or papers. All of our students have been taking mid-year assessments. So for math, that includes the Universal Screener for Number Sense, and that would be kindergarten through sixth grade. It's also the iReady assessment, which is a diagnostic given online. For reading, that would be iReady for third through eighth grade, iStation/Amira for kindergarten through second grade, and Dibbles, which is a very brief 1-minute test of oral reading fluency for all students, K through eighth grade. We find that the mix of, teacher administered assessments as well as computerized assessments helps us to really hone in our students' strengths and weaknesses and design our instruction to best fit what they need. We also use the iStation. Again, that's the state mandated for math for K1, 2. So we are in the middle of doing that. I noticed that Kana joined the call. I will let her do some reporting on the Twinkle Light Parade, but we did have a marvelous dragonfly float in the Twinkle Light Parade, and a number of families and students joined us in walking in the parade. We have a middle school dance coming up this week on Thursday. On Friday, we have a PD day. We also have a holiday party that Kana is hosting for faculty and staff. Our PD day, we will also be doing CPI training, which is de-escalation and crisis management for students who have those needs. So that's mostly our social emotional support team. We are working on building any changes in schedules for the second semester. That's mostly for our elective classes as those switch a little bit. Let's see what other information do I want you guys to have. I was just before this meeting on a call with the PED for our math lab grant, which is going very well. And I'm finding, a lot of points of learning and similarity with some of the other schools that are participating in this. So it's been great professional learning for myself, as well as for the school. We have been working with Rachel Matthew, which is the developer. So Steve Nakamura, which is their lead person and architect, came out to the school about the middle of last week to just kind of get some ideas on what we would want in the space. I think currently we think we may need to tear down the existing radio station building to just have the most efficient chance to build what we need. So I don't have any numbers or any data or drawings or pictures or anything to submit to the governing council at the time at this time. But we will, as soon as I do have something, I will present it to you guys, and then we will schedule more time to like really go over it in depth. But I just want to let you know that that is progressing. And yeah, I think it's, been a great fall semester, but we're also really excited to be looking forward to a winter break to rest and recharge. We are having a Pozole lunch for families this week, so we let families know we would love for them to join us for a Pozole lunch. So I think we have about 30 families who are planning to attend that. Well, that is my report. I will have mid-year assessment data for the Academic Excellence Committee, which we can then present to the Governing Council in January, but we still have a number of students who are finishing up doing makeup assessments. Any questions from the Governing Council?
Questions or comments for Lori? Lori, I was looking at the calendar, and because we moved next month's Academic Excellence Committee meeting back a month, it's actually going to be after our next scheduled GC meeting. So would you be interested in bringing high-level MOI results to the next GC meeting?
Yes, I think I would. I wouldn't want to wait till February if we don't have to.
Agreed. All right. Lori, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Back to the agenda. Item 5.2, the teacher report, and we've got Kana on.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good, thank you.
I did send you a brief written report, which, when you have a chance, it'd be great to just read it. I have some good quotes from teachers that are like more positive, celebratory, like how they're feeling about curriculum, and but this time of year is just a whole lot for educators. I just want to put that out there. Like, we have our own families, we have all the kid families and all the kids' families. And so it's just a lot of coordinating. So I just want to definitely shout out all of our people in that way. And some of our teachers are also like me. So that also, creates like another layer for a lot of people who are trying to finish up their own learning. You had asked about AI, and I've sort of started to investigate it. My feelings generally are that I want to address it in a really targeted way. So I'm going to do some of my own investigation, since everything is always asking me to use it. I think there are a lot of philosophical questions about it. And I think there's also some practical questions about it, which I did put in my written report. Things like, hey, is AI going to replace teachers someday? That is the goal that some people have, is for teachers to be replaced, which is horrible thought, right? But also, when is it okay to use? When is it not okay to use? Are there ethical questions around using like AI generated lesson plans or modifications for students with different learning needs and IEPs? So I just want to be able to really like kind of dive into that, because I feel like everyone as a culture is just like on this runaway train that nobody really made an agreement with, except for the companies that are spearheading it. And they're all very powerful. And our lives sort of all, for the most part, unless you're a total Luddite, our lives revolve around and are powered by the things that are pushing AI. all the platforms on everything we use, Google, whatever, right? And so I'm just gonna I'm taking time to really like structure it and investigate it and get you some more stronger, meaningful questions around what that means and how our faculty and staff is feeling about it. I'm not even sure, like, some of the responses I got is definitely fear-based, but also it's like, like, I see the train, I don't know where the brakes are, and I don't even really know what the train is. Like, is it a train? Maybe it's a motorcycle. So I feel like part of it is going to be putting it out there in other ways. So I might investigate also what it could mean to use it and see. So,
Hannah, this sounds really great. Thank you for
oh,
being
I cannot hear
so.
you.
Oh, can you
I
hear me
don't
now?
think it's you. I think it's me.
Okay.
It says check. Oh, now I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
I can hear
Thank
you.
you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you so much for being responsive. These questions are a great start, and I look forward to hearing what comes back. And then also, based on what you learn, what potential next steps could be
Yeah,
as
I
a
agree.
school community.
I agree. Like, one of the things that a teacher pointed out to me or said like in their response was UNM has no policy around AI at all. And so we're like looking at the premier educational facility in New Mexico, and they have nothing for us to use as a guide, right? So we're out there in the wilderness. I'm just putting that out there, our tiny little school. Also, if any of you have any like deeper practical or philosophical ideas or answers that come up for you, please share them with me so I can like investigate them with the faculty and staff. So there's that. And yes, the Twinkle Light Parade was amazing. By normal too, but
Rainey and Hay, did either of you have any questions or comments about Kana's report?
Not really. I'm also really excited to see what comes of the AI discussion as a creative and as someone who sees folks using that stuff for all kinds of reasons. I recognize its role as a positive thing, but I also recognize when it comes to learning, it can be a hindrance for the learning process itself. So I'm really curious to see how this discussion plays out.
yeah, I agree, Rainey. It's almost like it could completely replace the learning
Yeah.
process. Could do it all for us, maybe, right?
But then is it actually learning?
Right. Yeah.
Hey, any questions or comments from you?
I am actually very fascinated with AI, so I'm interested to see how this all pans out. As far as with learning, for me personally, because I am neurodivergent, it has really helped me kind of tap in and learn how to work with myself. But I can also see where it's dangerous in terms of us relying on it too much or favoring it over genuine, organic human connections
Hmm.
and trial and error. Um, so yeah, I don't know. But I am really excited about it, and I am very thankful, Miss Kana, for taking the lead on that, and even just getting everyone else's ideas and opinions, especially for teachers, because that is concerning. I would never think that AI could replace a teacher. I think that it could be a very helpful tool, especially with the number of students and the number of metrics that we're trying to meet, maybe helping, but I think that's kind of scary that people might think that that's the route that we're headed.
Doctors too. There's like a lot of movement for AI to, replace what is can viewed as like flawed decision making in professionals. So I'm curious to see what we come up with.
Great. Kana, thank you again. Back to the agenda, 5.3 Family Council Reports. I assume we have nothing there.
Correct.
Can I just ask about why we don't get family council reports anymore?
Kind of, we've had difficulty identifying somebody to be a family council representative to the governing
Okay.
council.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was just like a defunct thing that was still like on the agenda.
No, I think it would be wonderful if that role could continue to exist.
Right.
Okay, item 5.4, Student Council Report. Did we have a written report this month?
No, no, because they can't do it without my support yet. We're working on it though.
Okay.
We'll have them do double duty. Like I figure if this year we hit every other month, we're doing pretty good. So
Got it.
we'll have a lot to report next month.
Moving on to item 6, Finance Committee, 6.1, summary from previous Finance Committee meeting on December 4th. And is this going to be Elizabeth?
It is.
Great.
Let's see. And my internet has already winked out on me twice, so hopefully it makes it through. I don't understand. All right, Lori, did you let me share?
I did.
Come on. All right, so I am going to start with the status of our request for reimbursements, and we were really busy today. So this is an update from the report, which was written at the beginning of the month, and we actually did quite a bit today. So most of these funds have now been submitted through November, as you can see. So the ID-B, which is our special ed, we've done through the end of November. The Title II has been done through the end of November. The Title I CSI we did through December 4th because I had just issued another check at the beginning of December and Mary wanted to catch that one. This one, the Panorama Grant, that was exciting. We got our budget approval like 2 weeks ago when we managed to get it done and submitted to, this morning at 10 a.m. was our deadline and I submitted at 9. That was fun. And Ed Fellows, Mary got submitted through the end of November, as well as our math lab and our community school implementation. This one, the out of school learning, I am working on. I've got almost everything I need. It's a lot of voucher packets that need to get put together, so I'm planning on submitting that one tomorrow. And then that'll be pretty much everything caught up through November or a little bit later. Our lunch claim has been filed through November. I didn't want to overcommit Angelina when I was doing the report, but she actually did this one early. She got it done on the 2nd. So, any questions on the request for reimbursements? And hey, you can't see this yet, can you? Apologies. All right. With that, I'm going to move on to the financial statements for the month of October, starting with the statement of financial position. And as you can see, oh, you know what? Oh, blessed be. I caught this during finance and I thought I'd uploaded the final document. Once again, this thing is only 3 pages long. That is not the full financial statement. My apologies. Let me pull up the actual and I'll make sure I've uploaded the full thing to the website. Give me just a sec. That is so funny. I thought I had fixed that, but clearly I did not. All right. Okay, there we go. Can you see this one now? It has 24 pages, which is what it should have. All right. So we have a grand total of $1,353,413 in total, of which we have 644,000 and change in operational. And you can see the negative funds here. Those are the areas that we are requesting reimbursement for, and we pretty much, except for the one that I'm still working on, we have submitted for all of the grants that we need to submit for reimbursement. So are there any questions on the statement of financial position? And I apologize, Brian, I don't think the full thing's up there to look at, so these three are.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
in the report, we talk a little bit about the universal fund.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Mary, thank you for bringing that up. So Mary wanted me to point out that this 21,100, which is the state match for the school meals, is intended to be a break-even fund, but last year we charged a lot of our additional expenses, so like supplies that we had to buy, to the 21,000, which is the USDA fund, and so we ended up with leftover money in universal meals, and so I'm gonna front load the bills moving forward for a little bit to try to even that out, because we don't really want to have extra cash in the universal meals because it should be a break-even fund. Any questions on that?
When you say break even fund, Elizabeth, does that just mean billing to the greatest extent possible USDA?
Go ahead, Mary.
The universal meals is actually partially covering items that are not covered by the USDA, but it's kind of to cover. They say to cover leftover, but I always prefer to use other people's money first. So we try to make sure that the universal meals revenues are offset against expenses, so that we can make sure that those funds that the state is preparing or is paying us for, and it's on our claim and it's based on the meals served, that those revenues are offset by expenses. And last year, partly because of what we had in the budget available to charge to that, we had about $1,200 left sitting in the bank on that. So we're going to use that up this year.
Great. Thanks, Mary.
Okay, so up next is the statement of revenue and changes in fund balance. And that basically shows you where our revenue sources are and our expenditure sources are. And there's nothing that stands out as being concerning in here, which is good. Any questions on this?
Actually, Elizabeth, taking a look at
Yes.
this, can you go up one page? One page more. Yeah, there we go. Just seeing the SEG on there, it actually prompts a question for Lori. Lori, where are we with enrollment at the moment? I forgot to ask during your report.
Sorry. Good question. I think we were at 221 students on the 80th day, which was December 8th, I believe. It's
December 1st.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So a little below where I'd like to be, but we still have one more count day, which is in February.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, up next is our cash disbursements. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to read. Trying to see if there's anything. Oh yeah, lift station. That's always fun.
Hi, mommy. Hi, baby. What? Yeah, I'm gonna get him.
Oh, you
Wow.
can see in here. This was for renting the screen that we use for movie night, and I think somewhere in here too was paying for the license that allows us to show movies. So that was fun. Alpha and Omega came out and installed outlets in the outdoor garden classroom. So Nisa now has power out there, which is awesome for her. So that was a good thing. see.
I got you. Thank you.
Oops, and I think that was it. Any questions on, let me go back up so you can see the actual, on any of the cash disbursements?
I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, and then last is our budget to actual, and we did have one function that was negative, and you guys have already approved a bar to fix it in the November meeting, so it will show up as being fixed in future financial statements. So let me see if I can find it. Where are you? 2300. So many account codes. There we go. So there's a negative. So, and this is basically because of the additional expenses. We talked about this before, the additional expenses we had for legal and some other professional technical services. And so you guys had approved a bar to move some money around so that wouldn't be negative anymore. And that is pretty much all I have. Sorry? Was that a question? Hey, you just
Oh, wait, sorry. It's good.
So that's basically all I had for the financial statements for the month of October.
Why?
If there's no questions, and I apologize, I know I'm going through these pretty fast, but all the rest of the functions are positive, which is what we want to see. So, and I'm almost to the last page. There we go, last page. So any questions on the financial statements for the month of October?
No questions from me. And if there are no questions or comments for Elizabeth, we are on item 6.2 of the agenda, the recommendation to approve financial statements and cash disbursements for the month ending October 31st.
This is Rainey, and I make a recommendation to approve the financial statements and cash disbursements for the month ending October 31st, 2025.
This is Hay, and I second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.3, recommendation to approve bar FY 26-09 21,000.
All right, so this is a bar to budget a refund from prior year expenditures, and this report shows you the amount, the 3,600, and then this one shows you why we're getting 3,600, and it's really big. My apologies. This one actually needs to be smaller. So they were overcharging us a monthly management fee, and Angelina did in-depth assessment at the end of the year, and it came out there had been some issues, but they didn't, as you can see, they didn't actually get us the credit until September, which is why it's a reimbursement for prior year expenditures. So that's the support for this bar.
So Elizabeth, is that something that the school found and brought to their attention?
Yep. Actually, I have to take it back. We found some other stuff, and when they were doing their analysis, and Angelina did have some questions about what they were charging, but they actually did come back and say, yeah, we overcharged you.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, still kudos to the team.
Yes.
Any questions for Elizabeth regarding this bar? If not, I think we're ready for a motion.
This is Rainey, and I make a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-09 21000.
This is Hay, and I second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.4, recommendation to approve bar FY 26-10 31 200.
And this one is a little anticipatory. The PSCOC was scheduled to meet in November and to vote on approving lease assistant grant applications, and they have always approved our applications in the past, so we expect they will approve them again. It appears they did not have a quorum, so they rescheduled for December, and they just met last week. I was hoping that we'd have final word by today, but we still don't. But we are assuming that they're going to approve it. So we went ahead and built a bar so that as soon as we get the letter, we can submit the bar and move forward. And this is basically to reimburse us for our lease payments. And this is how much it is for the whole year.
Just so the GC knows, the lease assistance grant has like an and or in funding. So they fund based on your they fund you based on the number of students times a standard amount, unless that amount is more than what your lease purchase agreement is. So we actually are limited because our lease purchase agreement is less than what our population generates. So we have no lease purchase expense in any fund other than this particular one. But it also, as we go forward, looking at possibly what we're doing with the radio station, then there is money that we leave on the table for this grant because we have more students that would generate money than what we're allowed to have because of our limitation on no more than what our lease purchase payments are. Does that make sense?
So Mary, just to restate for my own understanding, there are two ways that this number could be generated. It's the actual lease purchase payments or another amount that is driven by enrollment. And
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
say it a little differently. You have a number that's generated by your students. But if that amount is higher than what your actual lease purchase payments are, they put a cap, a ceiling of what your lease purchase payments are.
And that's where we are.
Yes.
Okay.
I just got an email as we were having this discussion that we have been awarded this lease purchase or this lease assistance. So
Perfect timing.
Awesome! Yay! So no longer anticipatory. It has happened. So yay! So any questions on this, other than the ones that have already been asked?
Well, I mean, Mary, just going back to our brief discussion there, I find it very intriguing because I wonder if that means the story is that we have a good deal on our lease purchase agreement given our student population.
That would be true.
Okay.
We paid for the when we purchased the land, there had to be an appraisal, and so our purchase price is I think very reasonable. I think Mr. Rubin was very, very kind to us, and he has been kind to us over the life of the existence of the school. Our monthly payment is $8,800. That is very low for most schools. So we are very beneficial, which also lets us use the money that we generate from capital outlay dollars on other things like fixing lift stations, our favorite thing. I have two schools who all we seem to do is fix lift stations. So, I mean, it was I considered your purchase of the building very, very positive for the school.
Well, that means his kindness has had a direct impact on students.
Yes, it has.
Does
Are
that
there any questions or comments for Elizabeth and Mary regarding the lease assistance?
that and maybe this is my misunderstanding. Does that mean then when our lease amount goes up with the new purchase that we have a buffer when it comes to the number of students we have?
Um, when you say number of students, um, I I'm going to, for the moment, assume that we don't know what that new building's going to look like. We don't know if there's going to be space enough to add additional classrooms, which allows us to increase our population. We don't know those things. We won't know it for a while. But if even the number of students we have now, and I don't recall off the top of my head what the monthly number is, but I can get that for you and let you know next month. Um, we have left money on the table, definitely. That money, if we have something to use it for, we would receive.
Gotcha.
So if in the future we have an additional building, then it's we would add that square footage, we would add that lease purchase payment amount, and so then that would allow us to use more, if not all of the money that our students generate in this grant, that we have not been able to use. We don't get to go back and get the old stuff, but we would be using more of the potential dollars available to us in the future. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
and I guess that's what I was getting at. Given that our student population already generates more than the cap, then with the new lease cost, we have some buffer there with the current student population. Kind of,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any additional questions or comments regarding the bar?
Mm-mm.
If not, I will entertain a motion for item 6.4.
This is Rainey, and I make a recommendation to approve bar FY 26-10 31200.
This is Hay, and I second that.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The motion passes. Item 6.5, next Finance Committee meeting is January 8th, 2026.
At 5:30.
Item 7, Policy Committee, 7.1, no summary from previous Policy Committee meeting, and 7.2, next Policy Committee meeting to be determined. Item 8, Academic Excellence Committee, 8.1, summary from previous Academic Excellence Committee meeting, December 3rd of 2025. During that meeting, we returned to our conversation about monitoring the strategic plan. We spent the majority of our time identifying the goals within the plan that require baseline data from a staff survey. So there were 4 goals established that do require some baseline information and then the ability to track that over time. So we had a conversation about those. And Lori and Kana have been tasked with next steps and bringing those next steps to the January Academic Excellence Committee meeting. So that'll be really exciting just to have some baseline information as we continue our goal to monitor the strategic plan. And as I mentioned earlier, we, as a committee, we bumped back our January meeting a week, which will now happen after our next GC meeting. So I likely won't have anything additional to report when we next meet on January 12th. Besides the committee, I mean, tangential to our committee work, I also wanted to mention that I had the opportunity to attend the Public Charter Schools of New Mexico conference last week on Thursday and Friday at Tamaya, and that was worthwhile. I was very proud to be there to represent Mountain Mahogany. I presented on the accountability system, New Mexico Vistas, on Thursday afternoon, and that was well received, and I enjoyed that very much. And it was just a great opportunity to meet new people, reconnect with others within the charter school space here in New Mexico. And Lori, folks were asking about you.
Thanks, Brian. And thanks for representing Mountain Mahogany there. I'm grateful you were there.
Yep, absolutely. Any questions for me? Or Lori, did you have anything else that you, or Kana, anything that you wanted to add regarding our committee work?
No, I think that's a great summary. Thank you.
I agree.
Great. Thank you both. And again, our next committee meeting will be on January 14th. Item 9, Council Development Committee. 9.1, review status of board member training hours and training opportunities. We are now about halfway through the fiscal year. Please make sure that you are coming up with a plan for meeting your annual training requirements. 9.2, review recruitment of board members / candidates for the governing council. That's just our standing reminder for all of us to have thoughts and conversations with others about who potentially could be a good fit for our important work here on the governing council. Item 10, Director Support Committee. 10.1, nothing to report. Item 11, Audit Committee. 11.1, nothing to report. We have made it to the end of the agenda. And item 12 is adjournment, and I will happily entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Rainey, and I make a motion to adjourn.
This is Hay, and I second that motion.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Rainey, and I approve.
And this is Hay, and I approve.
The meeting adjourns at 6:14 p.m.
I feel like I'm in some weird, like, alternate universe. Like, what's happening here? Like, it's only 45 minutes long. Did I